Who work harder than me? No athlete work harder than me. Fighters, no athlete works harder than me. You tell me one athlete right now has been dominating the game for 16 years straight without a loss. Tell me one. Tell me just one. That ends it all, then I'm gone.
The greatest fighter, the top 5 of all time. You know what I mean? You know, look at his record. Before he got beat at 89 fights, undefeated. I don't want to hear nothing else, you know.
When did the O become the end all be all?
I think Mayweather, you know, and how he made it big to the public.
Mm-hmm.
Like 47 and tried, 47 have failed, and then it got all the way to...
Floyd "Money" Mayweather has long used his undefeated career as the strongest argument for being recognized among the greatest fighters the sport has ever seen.
Yeah, that's being the greatest fighter, the top 5 of all time. You know what I mean? You know, look at his record. Before he got beat at 89 fights, undefeated. I don't want to hear nothing else, you know. So you do it, like to make you that fight.
Who's gonna win, you or Floyd?
Floyd, that was talking about.
To Mayweather, that unbeaten record reflects not only his success, but also the reputation he built and the lasting impact he has made on the sport. Tyson, on the other hand, argues that true greatness cannot be measured by a perfect record alone. In his view, boxing is defined by staying active, constantly testing yourself against top opposition, and repeatedly accepting dangerous challenges throughout an entire career.
In phenomenal shape, you look shredded. You're supposed to fight Floyd next month, correct?
Yeah, next month from now, we ready, whatever.
How do you beat the shoulder roll? He's 50 and 0.
Huh?
How do you crack the shoulder roll?
Shit happens, you never know. Hey, listen, I think this established my importance in the boxing world more so than the amateurs, than the professional fighting, because this is the future. You know, Mike Tyson got a great name, and that's over. That's gone. This is legend and all that, that's gone though. This is the future. The kids don't understand that they're the future. They look at me, the great Mike Tyson. No, their turn is coming soon. By having the experience in the fight that had come earlier. But their turn is coming where guys are going to say, wow, you're the man. Because that's what happened when these guys have all that fight. It's a foregone conclusion. It's going to happen.
Tyson's comments highlight what he sees as a significant shift in modern boxing. These days, many fighters place enormous value on preserving an unblemished record above everything else. From his standpoint, the sport has gradually moved away from chasing true greatness, with far more emphasis being placed on carefully managing careers and steering clear of unnecessary risks.
Both over 100 years old at this point, so I'm not quite sure what's going to be accomplished in this ring. But I'm not going to say that this is a fight I really want to see. I will watch it, but it's not like I can't wait to see this.
I think it'll be better than most people think. Because I think, you know, they're around the same age.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the first fight.
Right. You were ringside, right?
Not quite ringside, but I had good seats.
You had good seats. Okay. Okay, so from your point of view, was it close? Because being there is a little different than watching on TV.
Keep in mind, Pacquiao's rotator cuff was fucked up.
Okay.
Now, I know people might go excuse, but his rotator cuff was fucked up. So I'm saying that to say, given that his rotator cuff won't be fucked up this time, it's kind of even. They're the same age, damn near. And Pacquiao still, you know, fights with fire. This could be a better fight than most people think.
Speaking about how fights are arranged in today's boxing world, current pound-for-pound standout Terrence Crawford says the Mayweather era fundamentally changed the way many fighters approach their careers. Rather than making it a priority to face the toughest opponents as soon as possible, the emphasis has shifted toward waiting for the ideal timing and gaining the strongest position at the negotiating table. At the same time, promotional and political conflicts within the sport have continued to slow the biggest fights from happening. By placing greater importance on protecting an undefeated record instead of consistently delivering the matchups fans want most, the blueprint associated with Mayweather has played a role in delaying major bouts until much of the original anticipation had disappeared. From Crawford's point of view, although Floyd enjoyed extraordinary success inside the ring, boxing fans were frequently left without the chance to see the sport's biggest stars meet while both competitors were still at the peak of their abilities.
At the right, the right time, Floyd, he's also ancient. Like, because of George Foreman and then Bernard Hopkins and modern, modern medicine essentially, and what we know about nutrition, et cetera, and training methods, there are, not to mention PEDs, rampant in sports generally. But fighters are fighting to a much older age than they used to. A fighter approaching 40, fighting at the level Mayweather is fighting, is unheard of. Mayweather, until recent times, would be considered one of the greatest older fighters. That would be the whole story. Oh my God, can you believe how old Mayweather is? So it's a little bit unfair to Floyd to say, well, you're picking these guys at the right time. Floyd is old. But that's part of his greatness is, look, I saw Roy Jones in his prime. Mm-hmm. Roy Jones better than Floyd in his prime. Sugar Ray Leonard at his best, better than Floyd at his best. I thought Pernell Whitaker at his best was a little better than Floyd at his best. But Floyd is right in that conversation. But if I had to rank them, I would.
This distinction is essential to recognize. Mayweather can certainly be viewed as the standard for career longevity and consistent excellence over time. However, that alone does not necessarily make him the most dominant boxer ever to step into the ring. Many analysts believe Floyd's greatness was built on his extraordinary boxing IQ and his remarkable ability to make adjustments as a fight unfolded over 12 rounds. In comparison, fighters like Roy Jones Jr. possessed rare athleticism and natural talent that appeared to be on an entirely different level. Those exceptional physical attributes were never the foundation of Mayweather's path to success.
Yes. Pacquiao's my favorite, and you are right. Yeah. But he did beat Pacquiao, and nobody has changed the game like Floyd Money Mayweather. Yeah,
in a bad way. In a bad way.
In a bad way.
Yeah, you got it. In a bad way.
He was so great and so dominant. I can't do that.
He mastered the art of knowing when to fight somebody and when not to fight somebody. I mean, he's the best in that game. He's the best in, making money and making all the, the huge fights happen. But why? Because he was timing every single one of them. He never fought nobody really in their prime. He always
after junior lightweight. Junior lightweight, he did.
100%.
He
didn't
fight
Paul
Williams,
so we all wanted to. So he changed the game in the worst way possible. You're right. Everybody's trying to protect their own. I had to break that right with Tank. I made sure we.
Yeah, you broke the.
That was real. We did.
Yes.
Hey, we took the O in the. The name of the sport. Thank you very much.
You got a bag for that.
I had a little, incentive.
But I mean, Floyd has even told me before the Pacquiao fight. He said, "Look, TBE, the best ever. Someone, you want to talk about inside the ring? Someone else could have that." Now, Floyd, I'm sure thinks it's him, and he has a hell of a case. Floyd is he has an argument for best fighter ever. Right. I just don't have him number one. But what he said was, I'm talking about the whole game. He's right. Floyd played the boxing game better than anyone ever played the boxing game. And what this speaks to, and this is a boxing show, boxing is fundamentally exploitative. I get this as a fan. It's a guilty pleasure. I get it, right? And usually it's fans and networks exploiting fighters, right? We say, we want to see you in blood and guts fights, which risks their health for the rest of their life, to entertain us. And Floyd flipped the script. He said, no. Instead of fans and networks exploiting me, I'm going to exploit the fans and networks, right? But Ryan's right. It's not good for the fans. It's good for the fighter. It's just not.
The debate also raises the argument that Manny Pacquiao's achievements in winning titles across several weight divisions could carry more weight in pound-for-pound discussions than Mayweather's unbeaten record. While Floyd secured the victory in their long-awaited 2015 clash, widely promoted as the fight of the century, evaluating everything both fighters accomplished over the course of their careers reveals a much more detailed and balanced story than the outcome of that one contest by itself.
One major bone to pick with this list. Floyd Mayweather beat Manny Pacquiao, it's true. Floyd is one of the top 10 greatest pound-for-pound fighters who ever lived. Tough to argue otherwise. But pound for pound, he can't be above Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao was a flyweight champion. Not that he turned pro at flyweight. He was good enough as a flyweight to be the lineal champion, the real champion. Now, he didn't win titles in every division. He skipped some of these, but I just want to tell you how flyweight, junior bantam, junior feather, junior light, junior welter,
He's rapping again.
Junior middle. He rolling. And he laid waste to these divisions. He fought great fighters. He never ducked anybody. Pacquiao Pacquiao to me, other than Sugar Ray Robinson, he's still one. Pacquiao is the greatest pound for pound fighter who ever lived. I can't put Floyd above him.
Yeah.
Any beef?
I agree with you on that. I mean, I've always had Manny Pacquiao above Floyd pound for pound, and just in the history of boxing, you never heard of a guy that could go from those weight classes and still dominate. Knocking out Cotto, knocking out Ricky Hatton with one shot, destroying Oscar De La Hoya. Made him look like he was nothing. I mean, for me, Manny Pacquiao is always going to have that, and I was always a huge fan of him growing up. So yeah, for me, he takes the cake.
At the center of this debate is the difference between achieving greatness and maintaining perfection. Pacquiao's career was built on demanding contests, regularly taking on larger opponents and embracing some of the toughest challenges available. Many boxing experts argue that winning world championships in 8 different weight classes, starting at 112 pounds, is such an extraordinary accomplishment that it outweighs the significance of an undefeated 50-0 record built through defensive mastery and carefully calculated career decisions. The conversation also highlights the way Mayweather reshaped boxing from a business standpoint, moving the balance of power away from promoters and television executives and placing it firmly in the hands of the fighter. Although Floyd succeeded in changing that dynamic, critics believe those changes also had a lasting impact on the sport's competitive nature.
We're going to remember them a different way than we do at this specific moment.
Do you think people are very critical of them right now?
I believe Floyd, yeah.
Yeah, Floyd, Chris Mannix and I were talking about this earlier. Floyd, you could point to legitimately say, look, there were 3 or 4 guys he should have fought at a certain time that he didn't fight. First of all, Costa Zoo at 140 pounds, right? That didn't happen, but it was never really discussed much. Then one, and Floyd was fighting everyone right up until the point where he started to make money. It's like no good deed goes unpunished. When you fight everyone, you don't make the money as when you pull back and let the demand kind of build and zig when everyone wants you to zag. And now he goes from $2 million a fight to $200 million for this fight. So it's tough to criticize the business strategy. But as much credit as you get for making, the primacy of business, for making business your priority, well, that comes with trade-offs, because when you make business decisions constantly, sometimes your athletic achievements won't be regarded in the same way as if you made athletic achievements your priority. Now, you could go back and argue, well, that's stupid. Why would I make athletic achievement ahead of business? Your point is to make money, and you'd be right. But then you are also judged on what you accomplished athletically, so you can't have it both.
The Money Mayweather persona was far more than a marketing creation. It became a shield that allowed Floyd to gain an extraordinary level of control over every stage of his career. After taking charge as his own promoter, he was in a position to decide the conditions and timing of his fights, often waiting until dangerous opponents had been affected by difficult weight cuts or the natural decline that comes with age before facing them. That approach helped turn him into one of the highest-paid athletes in the world. But many critics believe it also established a blueprint that reduced the competitive edge of boxing. Another point that continues to spark debate is the legitimacy of Mayweather's 50th win, with some observers arguing that defeating a UFC competitor making his professional boxing debut should not carry the same significance as a traditional boxing victory. When Rocky Marciano retired with an unblemished 49-0 record, it came against the leading heavyweight contenders of his era. Floyd reached his own milestone under very different circumstances, and critics argue that using a high-profile crossover event to claim that historic victory made the achievement feel more like a major entertainment event than a pure boxing accomplishment.
Respectfully disagree with you. Totally. I don't believe that this should count as this should be 50 and on a part of Floyd Money Mayweather. I agree with Rocky Marciano Jr. And I don't believe that Rocky Marciano Jr. is disrespecting Floyd Money Mayweather in any way. He's recognizing and applauding his greatness as a champion with an unblemished record that has owned the sport of boxing pretty much for the last decade. What he's saying is that Conor McGregor is not a professional boxer. Conor McGregor is going away from the UFC to enter the ring for the first time because obviously he cares about winning. He's going to try to knock Floyd out. Nobody's questioning Conor McGregor's pugilistic integrity. But what we're saying is that he's here for the money. And then after that, it's anticipated that he'll go back to fighting for the UFC. And the thing about it is it's similar, Max, to what I pointed out to Floyd when I asked him the question. You have people that will look at you and say, excuse me, is this a discredit to boxing? Why? Because you being 49-0 and one of the greatest ever, how does someone who's never boxed even have the right to step in the ring with you. They didn't earn their stripes in this sport. There's no disrespect whatsoever to Conor McGregor, but that wasn't earned. There was a process that was evaded, that was circumvented. Why? Because there's so much money to be had. And that's not to disrespect either fighter in any way. Plus, we have to take into account the times. And you know this better than me, Max, so I'm certainly not trying to come across in any other way. But what I'm simply saying is that the times that we lived in the past, where there wasn't social media, and there wasn't the television mediums and beyond, and the access to fighters and the rankings and all of this other stuff. The sport, the way that it's been manipulated by promoters with things being on pay-per-view, the way boxing has fallen out of the mind's eye in America because the promoters have so tarnished and stained the sport to some degree because of their control and keeping fighters from fighting one another. It's not that didn't always exist. It's just that when you look at Floyd and what's going on right now, the fact that Conor McGregor has never fought professionally as a boxer, but is able to step into the ring, I don't think it should be counted as 50-0.
For many critics, that choice adds weight to the belief that Mayweather's undefeated record was built through calculated planning as much as through his performances inside the ring. They argue it was carefully designed to secure a place in the history books, rather than serving as a straightforward measure of consistently facing the strongest opponents available. Mike Tyson has also made it clear that he remains committed to this viewpoint. In his opinion, accomplishments such as Julio Cesar Chavez's 89-0 streak and Roberto Duran's remarkable run through the sport set a more meaningful benchmark when evaluating true greatness. Tyson believes boxing is about far more than impressive statistics. To him, the sport is defined by a fighter's warrior mentality and the willingness to repeatedly accept demanding high-risk challenges inside the ring.
Hello? Wow, Roberto Duran. You ever heard of him? Roberto is the greatest lightweight fighter that ever lived.
What was his record, Mike?
He's like 120 or something. Yeah, 120 fights.
120 fights. Pro fights.
Pro fights. I remember when he had 72 in the fourth minute, right? Then that made 20 minutes.
The Jesus.
Yeah, the Jesus. He came back twice and knocked him out. Duran did something that nobody could ever do. He quit. Most of the guys quit in the ring. Back in the 80s, he quit. They were like, you're a dog. They never talked to the guy again if he ever quit in the ring. This guy said, quit, come back and let fight another. He quit in the ring, came back, won 2 more titles. He became a middleweight champion, then became middleweight champion. He didn't give up. People, everybody would talk about him like a dog, humiliated. He didn't give up, he didn't get discouraged. Came back and became a legend, and all kicking their ass now. He was bowing down to him. Chavez was the greatest man. You know, that's the other thing being the greatest fighter, the top 5 of all time. You know what I mean? Look at his record. Before he got beat at 89 fights, undefeated. I don't want to hear nothing off your face,
Tyson's straightforward viewpoint reinforces the belief that a fighter's legacy is measured not only by victories, but also by the difficult battles they are willing to endure. In his eyes, the spirit of a true warrior is revealed through overcoming the toughest challenges inside the ring, rather than carefully avoiding dangerous situations. Mayweather's undefeated record remains an extraordinary accomplishment, yet some legendary figures believe it is still missing one key ingredient that defines all-time greatness. They argue that the lasting marks, relentless tests, and hard-fought struggles against elite opposition are an essential part of building a truly legendary career.